What's up everyone, happy October. Let's talk about the best baits for October. We'll do it right now. Thanks for watching. I do a video like this every month of the top baits, and I did a video about September and I said September sucks. I mean, it really does for most of the country, but October is one of my favorite months to go fishing. Whether you're down here where I live in Texas, where I used to live in Washington State, all over the country, fishing is good in October. It's a great time to go fishing. There's way less people on the water. There's no recreation traffic to speak of, no, or at least nothing like this summer. So there's a lot of reasons why October is good. So I'm gonna run through some different baits, and I looked at all these baits down here and I realized they're all from different brands. So that's one thing about this channel is I use everything. I'm not connected to a certain lure company, a certain rod or reel company. I try everything. I do a lot of reviews. If you're new to this channel, check those out. But I'm gonna run through some of my favorite baits for October. I will put links to Tackle Warehouse below so you can check them out. It is an affiliate link. Doesn't change anything on your end, but it does help the channel. Okay, starting off, we got what's rigged up right now. I was using this yesterday in September, but it's a Chatterbait Evo. I've really become a fan of the Chatterbait Evo. You know, it's about half the cost of a jackhammer. It's similar to a jackhammer, and then it starts up right away. It's got a great action, but again, half as much money. It doesn't have as good of a hook, but everything else about it is very similar. The trailer that I have on there is a Chatter Spike, which is relatively new, and this was designed for a chatterbait. You know, it's just a single deal there. It's that elastic material, so it's very buoyant, stretchy, and durable. And during October, I really switched to the white colors. You know, bass are really focused on shad. That's a huge part of their diet all year, but especially during the fall. If shad are around, throw a white chatterbait. And if you live somewhere like where I used to live in Washington State, go with green pumpkin. Green pumpkin's hard to beat anywhere you live. But the Chatterbait Evo is a great one. It works great in October. Really, it works. I could put this in just about every month. It's an awesome bait that I use all year round. Next one, we got a spinnerbait. Same concept of the Chatterbait. Looks like a shad. This is the Shimano Swagey spinnerbait. It's a really good spinnerbait. A lot of vibration. That's a great shad color. I also used to live in Nevada, and that was a huge deal. Was a bait this color. You know, it's a kind of a shad pattern with a little bit of chartreuse in there. It works great on those clear water fisheries like I used to fish, mead and all those things, but especially in the fall. October, it's a great bait, but it will work anywhere. I love that color. All right, you didn't think we'd not talk about the jig head minnow, did you? You know, this is something that works everywhere. But you know, it's not just the jig head minnow. In general, a fluke style bait is awesome. Same reasons, it imitates bait fish. This is the Depth Sakamata shad, but there are some really good ones out there, including the OG, the Zoom Super Fluke. It is a great fluke bait. I mean, it's what really started the whole thing. I do like the Sakamata shad because it has those wings, so it has a little bit different rolling action, but a fluke is great. The original is still great. It will work on a jig head or a weighted EWG or weightless. It's great when those fish are eating bait fish. So really like a fluke style bait in October. Next one, we got jerk bait. Again, the same reason. You want something moving, you want something that's imitating bait fish. This is the Shadow Wrap Deep from Rapala, and then you got the Megabass Vision 110. I really like this color for northern fisheries. This is their matte perch color. It's a really, really good color. It's not too flashy. It's, you know, a lot of perch colors from different brands don't really look like a perch. You know, they're really bright and really gaudy, but this is a very good imitation of a perch color. Really like this for when I'm fishing up north. I'm gonna be going out to Washington State again this November. This will be making the trip with me for sure. But if you need something a little bit deeper, I really like this Shadow Wrap Deep, or any of the deeper versions like the Megabass 110 +1 or +2, just a way to get down a little bit deeper. Jerkbait is great for October. And so are topwaters. You know, you gotta have a plopping style bait. I like the original plopper, but this is the Berkley Chopo. And then walking bait like the Duo Realis Pencil 100 or 110. And really, I mean, any spook style bait that you like is great for covering water, and it's going to work for you this October. So something that can plop, that you can really buzz on the surface, or a buzz bait too would be another one that would fit there. And then something that is walking bait for a little bit deeper, more offshore stuff, or a little bit away from the bank. This is great for burning down the bank. It's worked for me all the time in October. You know, I think back at like the US Open, I fished that several times on Lake Mead, and it is always a topwater time, and the Ploppo was really good for me, or in the Chopo, I should say, was really good for me a couple years ago when I fished that event. Moving on to a swim bait, we got the Keitech Swing Impact Fat, the little 2.8 on a ball head. Works great this time of year, when the fish are eating those little tiny bait fish. I also like the Rapala Crush City the Mare, the Jackal Rhythm Wave. I mean, there's a lot of similar style baits, but it's hard to beat the original Keitech. And then when I was up in Washington State, I really use this a lot, the 5.8. This is actually the bluegill flash color. I have caught some huge smallmouth on this in the month of October, you know, several over 6 pounds on this particular bait. I got packs and packs of these, but that bigger meal is great, especially in those northern climates where the fish are really feeding up because they feel the shorter days, they feel the cooler temperatures, and they need to eat before it gets really, really cold. So a bigger meal is great. So don't be afraid of that 5.8. Even for smallmouth. I've even caught them on the 6.8 as well, believe it or not. They will eat it, no doubt. On a big 3/4 ounce jig head, just reeling it along the bottom, just above the bottom, ticking the bottom, you will catch some big smallmouth on this particular bait. But if you're just fishing suspended bass, hard to beat a little tiny version of it. So really from 2.8 up to the 6.8 Keitech, they are great. I love them. They're a staple in my arsenal. I have tons and tons of them. I fish them almost every time I'm out, especially in October. And the last one is a jig, an old-fashioned jig. Just throwing a jig on the bottom, dragging it along, pitching under docks. You can't beat a jig this time of year, especially if the water's starting to recede a little bit, lower water, and their fish are really tight to whatever remaining cover's left, whether it's the outside posts of docks, the last laydowns in the tree. A jig is hard to beat. This is just a dirty jigs, tour level jig, just a basic dirty jigs. Throw the trailer that you like on there, match the color to the forage, but it's hard to beat any green pumpkin or brown. So these are the baits that work for me every October. Let me know what I'm missing. What other baits are awesome in October? I think these are some of the best. Again, I'll put all the links below, but thanks for watching.